Hello Clash fans, Tribal Damage coming at you today with a methodology for defeating the impossible final. I am going to wind up using the footage that I recorded for my Reddit post because I did that one live. So we're just going to go ahead and jump in, make sure that after you watch that, I am going to tack on some stuff to the end of the video showing you how to handle some of the problem places that you might encounter as you try to defeat this thing yourself. We are going to show you the impossible final. Now, it's actually possible, but it's super hard, and I don't think very many people are going to do this. I'm going to walk you through the first couple steps just because we move a little quickly. We're going to drop the Archer Queen just to the left of this Inferno Tower. We'll put a minion on this X-bow, a minion on this X-bow, and then a Barbarian right here to trigger all 4 giant bombs and draw the 2 Teslas that are here. We will then put an Earthquake spell right here on the Monolith, which will damage all of these buildings. Invisibility spell on this Monolith and the Scattershot, invisibility spell on the Inferno Tower and the Scattershot, and we'll trigger the Warden ability when the 2 Teslas are down. So here we go. This Archer Queen on the side will also take out the Clan Castle along with all these buildings in here. We will then move back down to the Archer Queen and kind of take our time from there. So just to show you, this one, I have not defeated it yet. On this one, I just want to show you, fresh, we'll go ahead and take this thing down. Barbarian to trigger all that stuff. We did not get the Tesla, so we're going to start over. Need to pull both of those Teslas, otherwise it's just not going to wind up working. It's okay, it happens. I am only doing this like 8% of the time, so if I even get this live, that'll be great. We'll go Queen, Minion, oops, Minion, Minion, Barbarian. We didn't get the Tesla. I need to scoot that over just a little bit. Okay. Queen, Minion, Barbarian. We got both of the Teslas. Grand Warden, we will Quake right here. We will go Invisibility. We will go Invisibility, and then we will trigger the Warden's Fireball. We can come down here. You can see all that stuff got wiped out. Those 2 monoliths are up. That's okay. So we're going to put a 1 Invisibility spell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the 6th shot, drop the Recall spell. We can redeploy her here along with the 5 healers. We're going to go 1 of the kickers on the Warden, 2 on the Monolith, 2 on the Monolith, 2 on the Monolith, 2 by the A because there are spring traps. We don't want to trigger them. King, this one's a little tricky. We're going to put the Rage spell here. We need to hit that Barbarian King's altar with the Giant Thrower. So we're going to line that up and then line up toward here. And then the third one, we can go Balloon, and we can go 3 Barbarians. I did not move fast enough. 2 Ice Golems, and we will deploy the Royal Champion. 2 Earthquake spells in here, and we are in okay shape for now. What we need to do at this point is use the invisibility spells potentially to keep the Royal Champion and the Archer Queen safe as they are moving through here. If we wind up in a position where, oh, we've got the Fox being targeted, we need to, oh, the Fox died. I think that's probably going to make things problematic, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and burn another invisibility that I don't normally burn because we need the Barbarian King to be triggered, and we need the Royal Champion to take at least 1 shot at the Town Hall before she throws her Seeking Shield. We can now drop our Ice Golem, Siege Barracks, all 4 of the Wall Breakers here. Skeleton spell somewhere here to pull the heroes out, and we can put the 4 headhunters down here, 2 archers on the side, and we are not in terrible shape at the moment. It would be really, really nice if our Archer Queen would come down here to start playing with the rest of these troops, because I don't want the Scattershot to take out the headhunters before the enemy heroes are down. Okay, our king is going to wind up fighting that king. We're not in terrible shape. We still have the Queen ability. I would have liked the Royal Champion to still be alive at the moment. And we now have 4 super minions coming out of there to help out with the rest of these troops. We have 1 invisibility spell that we're going to need to use on our Archer Queen to keep her alive. It'd be nice if she could engage the Inferno to save our king. Okay, we actually are in pretty good shape. This is probably going to wind up going down. I'm going to go ahead and invisibility on the Archer Queen. We'll let her take out that Inferno Tower. We have no more concerns about the Archer Queen getting sniped. It's just a function of working through those way too many skeleton traps. There are way too many skeleton traps. We can get those things down. We got 20 seconds. We still have her ability. We need to get that down. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're good to go. Queen ability, pop, X-bow down. We go over there. Scattershot is off. And this is not an impossible final. It is possible. It's hard and it's annoying. Okay, as promised, here are some of the pitfalls that you could potentially run into. There are spring traps down here, so you want to place the kickers far enough back that they'll step up to hit the monoliths, but not so close that they'll wind up triggering the spring traps. And you can see like one of the spring traps is right here. Oops, sorry, on that side there. Spring trap right there. If you put your kickers too far over, they'll still get the monolith, but sometimes they'll trigger one of the spring traps. We run into something similar up here. Be careful when you're placing the Barbarian to trigger all of these hidden Teslas, because you need to go right in the center to be able to get all 4 bombs and the hidden Tesla. When you place the Earthquake spell, if you don't place it directly on this spot right here, you can miss some of these buildings. So if you place it too far down like this, you'll miss the scatter shots. If you place it a little bit too far to the left, you'll miss the scatter shot and the monolith on the right. So it's right here where you want to hit. That's exactly where we wind up wanting to hit. Now, when the Warden comes in, he's going to you'll have time to have him hit each of those hidden Teslas, and then you'll have to go invisibility and invisibility. If you're a little bit off with the invisibility spells, you might miss this Inferno Tower. Once those are down, one of the things you'll have to be careful about is there are spring traps in between these letters, and sometimes when you go to place these Barbarian kickers, if you don't place them far enough to the side, they'll actually run in here and hit a spring trap, and you need both of them to be able to take out those monoliths. So that's one potential problem. Also, be careful on this monolith. If you place them too far over, they'll actually target the X-bow instead of targeting the monolith, and that will wind up messing up this portion of the attack, because you need those kickers to take down those monoliths. Another issue that you could potentially run into is you will wind up, I'm going to put 2 balloons here to help probably take that expo down a little faster. Later in the attack, it's very easy to forget to place those archers that are going to have to be on this Dark Elixir. As soon as you possibly remember, get those 2 archers as far away from here as possible, but don't place them prematurely when there aren't other troops down on the map, because if you try and place them too early and then you start the Archer Queen down here, she will lure some skeletons, and when she becomes invisible, sometimes they'll run over here and take out those archers. So make sure that you deploy the archers after you've done the Barbarian King and the Giant Throwers. I'll show you the other issue you can run into. There's a couple things with the Giant Throwers. You want to use this wall brick right here that you can see as the placement piece for the Rage spell. You can sometimes place the Giant Throwers accidentally a little bit out of their range, or you put them at the wrong angle, and what they'll do is they will take out the Expo down here, but they won't get this Barbarian King's altar. And sometimes, let's go play again, sometimes when you do it, it'll actually leave that compartment closed. Like if you put them up a little bit, if you put them up a little too high, I think that'll be one where he'll miss that wall compartment. Oh no, he got the wall compartment. Sometimes if you just place him up a little bit too high, it will miss these wall pieces, and the Barbarian King will get hung up here banging away on these walls trying to get in. So just make sure that you try and place that. We'll just show you that one more time. Where you want to place it, you want to get it right here on this wall piece for the Rage spell, and you want to angle almost straight across with the first of the Giant Throwers so that he'll get the Expo and the other Expo and the Barbarian King's altar, that's perfect. The second one is angled here so that it can hit the Dark Elixir storage and also get that Inferno Tower. And then the third one we're doing just to put the pressure on this scatter shot. It'll have a few hit points left, and then of course we're going to wind up trying to drop it with a balloon. Those spring traps there, if you can move fast enough, which I didn't do in the other video, if you move fast enough, you can deploy some barbarians here to hit the spring traps that are in there, and they'll be targeted. The other stuff will be targeted, but you can try and catch that. Those are the biggest things that I tend to run into. The other issue is you need to get the Royal Champion to actually get 1 or 2 shots of her spear on the Town Hall before you wind up using her ability. Well, really before it'll go down. And sometimes the invisibilities are good for just making the kings. These 2 kings here are problematic. They will wind up distracting the Royal Champion sometimes long enough that she won't be able to actually attack this, and she'll have to go to ability, and then sometimes she doesn't throw spears at the Town Hall, which we need in order to get those to go down. Those are really the issues. The other thing that you can sometimes run into is your headhunters can get a little bit too close to the scatter shot and they'll get taken out. So that's why I try to deploy the skeleton spell. What you'll have seen there, these skeletons, these wall breakers are all going to die to that Grand Warden. But I try to place the skeleton spell a little bit closer this direction. That way the headhunters stay out of range of that scatter shot, because the scatter shot will start firing at the skeletons if they're up a little bit too high, and when the headhunters are too close, they can get taken down. It's a challenge, I know it, but it's actually kind of fun and rewarding if you're able to get through. If you do enjoy the content, please make sure to subscribe to me. I actually shared with some other creators how to do this. It was a very difficult one. Not very many creators were able to figure out how to do this. Obviously, there are some very talented attackers out there in the community who will figure out their own methods, and somebody is probably going to do this way faster than I would have believed. But I do appreciate your support. Please, if you're going to support me in any way, check out my podcast that is called Inside Clash with Trample Damage. It's a solo podcast, but you're 10 minutes into a YouTube video listening to me ramble on. Maybe my podcast is a perfect place for you. Also, make sure to share this with your clanmates. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Reddit. I have over 1,000 followers on Reddit now. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and we will check you out on the next one.